Simple Life presents awesome things to talk about with a girl. Knowing how to talk to girls and things to talk about with a girl is a crucial skill for guys to learn, especially if they want to know how to get a girlfriend. The art of conversation takes practice. Finding things to talk about can be tough, but we're here to make it easy for you. Once you know what to talk about with a girl, a little charm and friendliness go a long way in connecting with her on a romantic level. 6 best things to talk about with a girl. 1. Culture. You really can't go wrong talking about music, movies, art, and books. The conversation is going to go one of 2 ways: either she's seen, heard, read it, or she hasn't. If she has, you have something in common to talk about. If she hasn't, you can introduce her to something new. It's a win-win for both of you. 2. Hobbies. A person's hobbies are often a big part of who they are as a person. After all, it's how they spend a lot of their time. Because hobbies are activities that people do for fun, the conversation is automatically going to be upbeat and positive. You might even have hobbies in common that you can do together, and if not, you can give something new a try. 3. Your surroundings. Sometimes, you're going to need to improvise. Use your surroundings for inspiration. The weather is an obvious topic, but it's a little too easy and kind of boring. Make observations and ask her questions. You may find that getting a more in-depth discussion rolling is easier than you thought. 4. Yours and her experiences. Talking about things you've done is a great way to get to know her, and it helps her get to know you too. From past jobs to vacations, talking about interesting things you've done with your life so far helps both of you to determine if you're on the same page. After all, your experiences shape you as a person. 5. Goals and aspirations. Your dreams are just as much a part of you as your experiences. Just because you haven't done something yet doesn't mean you're not shaped by the thought of the future. Ask her about her future plans, but don't make it sound like a job interview. You're trying to get to know her as a person, not her qualifications for an open position. Strike off the phrase, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" from your vocabulary. 6. Family. Want a great topic that can almost fill up an entire conversation? There may be no better topic than family. Because just like you both have your own unique passions, you both have a unique family history, which not only gives you plenty to talk about, but also helps you learn a ton about who she is. So take the chance to ask how she gets along with siblings or her parents, or how often she sees her family. And don't forget to also talk about your family. 4 things to talk about with a girl to keep a conversation going. 7. Talk about your day. One easy trick to keep the conversation flowing is to talk about your day. That can mean discussing things that have already happened or your plans for the rest of the day. This technique works great because those topics are already fresh in both of your minds. 8. Talk about yourself. Another go-to topic is yourself. Of course, you don't want to be talking about yourself the whole time, but when you're stuck in a pinch, just talk about your interests, hobbies, experiences, and anything else. It makes you seem confident, and you obviously know all about yourself already, so it shouldn't be too hard to come up with conversation fodder. Just recognize when it's time to move along so you don't seem conceited. 9. Talk about her. Finally, just encourage her to talk about herself. If you show interest in her as a person, she's going to feel more and more comfortable opening up to you. You can use what she says to come up with new questions and responses that keep things moving in an organic way. 10. Ask the right questions. Just like how knowing the right topics is important, knowing how to ask the right questions is equally as essential. What exactly are the right questions? Instead of questions that could potentially lead to one-word answers, the right questions are open-ended, and give her the chance to tell a story. 3 sweet things to talk about with a girl. 11. Compliment her. Try to sneak a friendly compliment into the conversation. A compliment is defined as a polite expression of praise or admiration. The key word here is polite. You can tell her you love her laugh or that she has beautiful eyes, but don't ask if she wants fries with that shake. Try to make the compliment casual and relevant to the topic at hand. Whatever it is you like about her, take the chance to let her know. 12. Make loose plans. It may not be the right time to ask her out on a date, but you can certainly allude to hanging out with her in the future. For example, if you're talking about a museum you visited last week, you could mention how she would love it or that you'd love to take her there sometime. You're not asking her out directly, but you're making it known that you'd like to. 13. Be direct. Don't be afraid to say something super nice if it fits within the context of your location or conversation. If you're enjoying being around her, say so. If you think she's awesome, tell her, "I think you're awesome." It's a bold move, but it works. Let her know that you value her. 5 things to talk about with a girl you like. 14. Talk about dating. If it seems like she's digging your vibe, try asking about relationships and dating without getting too personal. You can try to feel out if she's single and if she's interested without asking directly. For example, you could talk about a nightmare date you went on, and see where that leads the conversation. 15. Talk about hangout ideas. Before you ask her out directly, talk about local date ideas, and see if she expresses interest. If her eyes light up when you bring up that Thai restaurant that opened up, you just got the green light to invite her out for dinner. 16. Talk about personal passions. Whether it's a sport you play, your job, or your pet, you probably have a few passions that you can always talk about with a girl. Not only will she enjoy hearing you talk enthusiastically about what's important to you, but it'll also open up the conversation for her to be able to talk about whatever she's into. So whatever it is that gets you excited, or keeps you busy outside of work, don't hold back on talking about it. 17. Talk about your accomplishments. Now this is a tough one because you don't want to come off like you're bragging. At the same time, if you want to win her over, you want her to be aware of your accomplishments. Slip one tiny brag into the conversation and then move on. Don't dwell on it unless she pushes you. 18. Plans for the future. Talking about plans for the future with a girl is great for 2 reasons. Not only can it create an excited, fun conversation like talking about vacations. You can also find out if your plans are on the same track as each other. For example, she may be hyper-focused on her career and getting promoted, or she might be planning to move to a new state next year. The question to ask yourself: do her plans for the future align with what you want in a relationship? So, with those great things to talk about with a girl, you should also know about there is one thing that is usually much better left unsaid. Because if there's anything that can completely derail a smooth conversation, it's talking about hot-button topics, specifically politics and religion. Even if you actually agree with each other on the issues, politics and/or religion can turn an otherwise pleasant conversation into a heated argument. So unless you met at a political or religious event, these controversial topics are almost always better left for later. Check out the link below for your free audiobook from Audible. If you like the video, do subscribe, like, and comment. Do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you for watching.